So next video, this right here is about the Tinderonis. The Tinders. Now, we should go back on Tinder tonight. Just to check out. Anyway. Tinder is worse than you thought. Is it? Only one way to find out. Only one way to find out, nigga.
Let this icon represent 100,000 Tinder users.
That's disgusting.
This is what 1 million Tinder users looks like.
Okay.
This is what all the girls on Tinder looks like. And this is what all the guys on Tinder looks like.
Thirsty as fuck. Thirsty.
And then there's you.
Idiots.
How do they do it, you ask yourself? Seeing all those couples, all those Instagram pics, all those love stories, it baffles you. It makes you angry. They got lucky. It's a rigged game. They were born with good genetics. They're not happy. I don't want a relationship anyway. I just don't have the time. I'm an introvert. I'm unlucky. Love?
Hi.
Getting married? That all seems like a distant dream. So as a last resort, you download Tinder because it's better this than nothing. You tell yourself, maybe this will be fun.
They download Tinder, Hinge, Black People Meet, Christian People Meet, Yeti, all these other little freak ass
Maybe you'll
apps.
finally feel something. Maybe you'll find the one. Some hope with fancy photos and tactical pickup lines, they'll find love through sheer force. Others hope by filling a dad-shaped hole, they'll become confident.
And that's how you get got, y'all. That's how you get got. This is a crazy pause.
And empowered. And the rest? They're falling down the spiral of loneliness, self-doubt, depression,
That's how
or
you get
divorce,
cocked.
desperate to feel that spark they felt before. You
That's
look for
how you
quick
get
fixes.
cocked.
You look for apps to find love, because deep down you're living a life of quiet desperation. But meanwhile, all you really want is someone to laugh with, someone to share those memories with. And you don't have long until it's too late. But as months and years go by, you come to a harsh realization. Those dreams you had of meeting that girl, traveling around the world, escaping your virtual reality, having your own family, they'll forever remain that way. Just dream.
Don't y'all find it sad how some I'm gonna say some dudes lose their virginity off of Tinderonis or matches or hingers or strippers or prostitutes? Y'all don't find that kind of interesting? No, this is real. Like, I know, real shit. I know people that dead ass have lost their virginity and only have had their first couple sexual encounters with strippers and prostitutes. They hate it. They can't live with themselves.
Dreams. Nothing more, nothing less. Tinder is creating the biggest psychological and technological change in human society.
Yup, it is.
And you're on the losing side of it. But what if I told
sad.
you
It's definitely sad.
you were
Irish, hell
wrong?
yeah. It's definitely
What if you
sad.
didn't have your emotions cut up and sold back to you for a profit? What if you didn't have to turn to Tinder? What if you didn't have to always send messages grasping at straws? What if you didn't have to abandon those dreams you had of traveling the world with that girl or having a happy family? By the end of this video, you will understand there's a side to the coin that you're not being shown. But I warn you, the road is tough.
The best
Dating
movie
apps
ever.
are a multi-billion
Best
dollar
movie
industry.
ever.
They are profiting from your loneliness and doing everything they can to keep it that way.
Yep.
Their main goal is to reprogram your mind to think that you need an app to date, that you need the next swipe and the next match, all whilst giving them billions and leaving you more alone and
Thumbs hurting.
isolated. The road out of the online dating world is becoming harder by the day, but at the end of this road lies relationships beyond what you thought you could attain. At the end of that road lies the ingredients for a healthier, happier, and more socially connected life.
Yeah, Deshaun, nobody cares and nobody asked. The lies about Tinder.
52% of 18 to 24-year-olds and 13 million 30 to 44-year-olds are on Tinder.
Oh my
At the same
goodness.
time, the number of single adults in the US and many other nations is unprecedented, with reports estimating that 1 in 4 people will be single for their entire life. Why? Truth is, the media and society have a habit of telling you that being single is empowering, that being atomized is healthy, that not having children is stopping climate change, that Tinder is helping you, that Tinder is changing dating for the better, and that Tinder is empowering. The question is, have you
What article said that?
Tinder is changing dating for the better and that Tinder is empowering?
Wow. Really? In 2017, that shit came out. Fucking disgusting.
The question is, have you bought into these ideas?
Hell no.
In the longest study on what makes a good life, they found loneliness is the biggest indicator of a shortened lifespan.
It turns out that people who are more socially
Loneliness.
connected to family, to friends, to
Nobody would
community,
have a job. Yeah, nobody would have a job.
they're physically
Everybody
healthier
everybody
and they
serves a
live longer
purpose.
than
Irish,
people
you know?
who are less well
Everybody.
connected.
All religions since the dawn of man have known this. Taoism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, paganism. But instead, our society will tell you that long-term relationships and meaningful lives can be found on apps like Tinder. Society tells you being alone is a virtue, to abandon monogamous relationships for the toxic hellscape of online dating. And that's when you might take the bait and trust these new ideas in your head. Maybe you should get Tinder, maybe it's worth it. Everyone else is doing it, maybe that's the only way. And that is when you become
Terrible.
blind to the traps that lie in wait.
Terrible. The traps of Tinder.
There are 3 traps on Tinder, and if you download Tinder, you will inevitably fall into one or more of these traps.
Oh yeah.
The first trap, the self-help route. Now I'm not talking about authentic self-help. I'm not talking about the people like Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, David Goggins or whatever. I'm talking about the world of dating gurus,
Imagine
dating
telling your
forums
kid
and all
you
the
met
other
some
quick
mother on
fixes.
Tinder.
And then you pray.
So you do your research, you watch all the dating gurus and fall
That's
down the rabbit
something
hole of
that will never
self-help.
get
And
put
after
out.
every self-help post that you read, after every self-help video that you watch, there is a shot of dopamine rushing through your brain.
Yep, that's what
you
it
go on
is.
and on using these texts.
That's exactly what it is. Oh, let me go back on Tinder. Let me see who liked my shit. Let me see. Let me see if my value is worthy enough to get liked. Let me see if I'm worthy enough to get swipe righted on or super liked. Oh my goodness.
Games on Tinder girls, you race to get more of that dopamine rush every single time. The online dating world can put you under a massive illusion, the illusion of progress.
And
After
dopamine
watching
is a
that
drug,
video,
guys.
you feel accomplished. After getting that match, you feel accomplished. You feel like you're moving closer to your romantic dreams. You're motivated by the matches, you watch the next video, read the next post. But it's only when you take a moment to pause and reflect, when you realize
You're lost.
you're just addicted to the feeling of progress. And this is why Tinder is a facade for the
I'd have to disagree on that. I disagree. The people that's they're not addicted to the feeling of progress. Because if that was the case, then they put that energy into themselves. Most of them don't. They put the energy into themselves for the weekend, to feel weakened. You see what I'm saying? Just to go on a date with a tenderoni and to realize that she is a walking, talking bird. She has no depth, little to no personality. She has a dick doc personality. Yeah, it's not gonna go far. But she got a big butt though, so you know. I might can make some exceptions.
real adventure
I disagree
life,
with that,
in which
though.
you learn who you truly are by grabbing yourself by the balls and facing real-world rejection. You become overprotected from the negative stimuli that is a part of finding deep relationships. Instead, you're just turning to the dating gurus for tricks on discombobulating girls to get laid, always at arm's length from real rejection. And so as you follow this path,
Them videos
you push
are
yourself
crap.
further and further away from your original goal.
Bro, how much do I have to say that, bro? The more and more y'all watch these dating coaches relate, bro, they are getting you into a paradigm that they have locked in. And 98% of them are fake. So it's like, how do you decipher which one's real, which one, you know? It's all about the feeling and the intuition. But the traps are always going to be there, bro. Always.
Because how can you find a meaningful relationship when half the
being a
process
dating
is taken
coach.
away?
Bro, they like that too, though, Iris. Like,
But as this process
you know?
continues, the dopamine rush from self-help and Tinder slowly fades. Tinder dries up your matches by design, the rejections pile up. You may start to conclude that you just can't do it anymore, that finding a partner is a waste of time and
like
energy.
that. They
you
like
put so
having
much
that,
work into
you
getting
know?
this right, and yet you have nothing to show for it.
Nothing.
Maybe they were right. Maybe love is an illusion. Maybe you're ugly. Maybe you're just better off on your own way. And then see how that turns out when you're 60. So let the
And that's what happens when they pull you like a Laffy Taffy. And they pull you and string you along and thinking that you are something else that you didn't even know that you were. But if you were to put down those fucking videos and pick up a fucking notebook and start writing, it would be different.
this be your first warning. You don't need to read every post, you don't need to overthink every text, every movement, and every action you take. You don't need an app. This is the first trap that so many guys get lost in, and it has dramatic consequences at the end of it all. Tinder becomes a substitute for the action you need to take in the real world.
Yep.
Going on Tinder will only make you more lonely, more insecure.
Guys, it's a form of escape. All these apps are escapism, escaping from reality, escaping from issues, problems, but those problems are only there because you didn't deal with them. A lot of y'all are just problem based. You're not solution based, because in life there's always going to be that. There's always going to be that.
This trap ultimately leading you to the gut-wrenching realization
How
that
do
you
you
haven't
get
made
through it,
any
though?
progress. You only got better at convincing yourself that you did.
He said, better money every dating coach hasn't been 2 feet near a woman.
The second and most dangerous trap, the hedonist trap. Let's say you're doing well on Tinder. You've got tons of matches coming in, you feel confident, you're taking people out for dinner, you've never had it so
Wasting
well. All
money.
these people, all this potential, all this dopamine. Your ego swells. People want you and you want them. Tinder is great. This is what was missing in your life. Untold matches, coffee dates, bar dates, so many one-night stands. It feels too good to be true. It's what
gross.
society tells you to do. Be empowered, be sexually liberated, be adventurous.
Yes, queen, yes, queen. Yeah.
Tinder one-night stands are an ingrained part of modern dating, which makes this trap so dangerous and so hard to escape.
Yeah.
But the engine behind this is Tinder's design itself.
I
The
would say
endless
it's hard
amounts
to
of
escape,
profiles you
though.
find on Tinder creates an infinite choice conundrum. You think to yourself that you just need one more swipe before you find the perfect match, one more hot match to feel like a baller, one more date to find that girl, one more one-night stand to feel a connection, and so on and so on and
He's
so
really
on.
got this
You end up
video.
always chasing the dragon for the next
doing
perfect
really
match
good.
or the next potential lover, paralyzing you from finding a deep relationship.
With so many options to choose from, people find it very difficult to choose at all.
And the business of online dating knows this.
Wow. And that is what I said years ago in one of my videos about, I have so many ideas, but where do I start? The more ideas you have, the less time you have to execute.
In fact, they rely on this to keep you hooked. Oh, and they're very aware of how addicting infinite choice can be.
One of the schedules which is very effective with rats or
Less time you have
pigeons
to execute.
is what we call the variable ratio schedule, and that is at the heart of all gambling devices and has the same effect. A pigeon can become a pathological gambler just as a person can.
And even if you're one of the lucky ones who does sustain a long-term relationship from Tinder, your chances of breaking up are almost 30% higher than those you met outside of Tinder.
When there are lots of alternatives to consider, it is easy to imagine the attractive features of alternatives that you reject that make it you less satisfied with the alternative that you've chosen.
One of my favorite authors, Dostoevsky, wrote that if you had nothing to do but eat cakes and busy yourself with the continuation of the species, you would eventually want to smash all these bubbles of bliss for something unique to happen. Easy pleasure makes
Literally.
life miserable. Because
Jimbo,
what
what's
makes you
up with
happy
you,
right
bro?
now won't make you happy in the next hour. So here's your next warning. The online dating industry is a huge business, and it relies on
is.
you not being content for you to continue consuming its services.
And the beautiful thing is they know exactly what you're going to do with it too. They know exactly what you're going to do. They know the scenes they're going to give you. They're going to give you these ads. It's going to pop up. Bro, they are going to, oh man. They are going to run you down it's like a filter. It's like a filtering process. So online dating is up top. And then you have Tinder, Hinge, Match, Black people meet, Christian people meet, all this shit, right? And then it's going to come down into Match. You get one match. Y'all match, and let's say this is an actual success. And then you succeed with this match, and then it's Friday night. So on Instagram, when you go on Instagram, you're going to get a local club or advertisement for $1 drinks until 12 a.m. downtown in your city. Where you gonna take her? I know the right place. Boom. You can go to this club, to that club, this street, more money, more money, more money, more spending, more consuming, more consuming, more consuming, and you're not producing nothing.
Be careful. Question how Tinder is making you feel over the long term. Question the real value of all
Our
these matches
stream
and one-night
has been
stands.
great,
you have.
bro.
Ask yourself, what did I gain
How's
from
your
any
Sunday
of this?
so far, bro? Mark 4.
The final trap, the self-doubt trap. This is the trap lying in wait for the vast majority of people on Tinder.
They don't like
the people
me,
who
I'm
don't
not
get
good
matches
enough.
like their friend. The people who struggle to keep a superficial conversation going through text. The 80% of men who are made to feel against the odds. The ones who are made to feel that they will never have a chance of finding a normal girl.
Never.
Male users of the popular dating app
I'm
Tinder
not good
appear to
enough.
have lower levels of self-esteem,
Yep.
and all users appear to have more negative perceptions
Because
of
you're
body
looking
image
at other
than
people to
who don't
get
use
a
the app.
self-esteem.
Men who were actively involved with Tinder reported significantly lower levels of self-esteem than female users.
And yet, this trap doesn't just apply to men. Far from it, this trap may even be worse for all the women who can't find a guy that wants more than a pump and dump. The women who are made to feel that to find a partner, they have to be promiscuous. They have to have a one-night stand on a first date for them to retain any of their value. They have to pause. It doesn't matter which trap you fall in. All of them are taking you to the same place.
Yep.
Each of
Yep,
these traps
that's
rely on your
filter. That's a
addiction to this
filter.
depressing drug dispenser, this drug that inhibits you from
That's
the
why the
rewards of
filter's
real
so
connection.
wide up top and it
But what if
narrows
Tinder's
down.
success is only symptomatic of a much larger endemic problem of society? Tinder usage is increasing in the millions every single year, and at the same time,
More than 1 in 5 Americans will report that they're lonely.
which poses the question, how do you escape these traps? How do you get these deep social connections? Well, the
Just be simple and
possibilities
put
are
it down.
practically endless.
Delete
It might
'em.
start off as something as simple as replacing screen time with people time. It can mean going to an event, going to a hiking
Go out,
group, a
yeah,
running
go
group, a
outside.
gaming group, a meditation group, going to
Literally.
meetup.com and finding people similar to
That's-
you. It
that
can
is
mean
that
just taking that
simple.
call to adventure. It involves transformation. It means grappling with your fears of being rejected.
That's
it means
simple.
grappling with your social anxiety. It means grappling with your laziness and excuses.
The people in our 75-year study who were the happiest in retirement were the people who had actively worked to replace workmates with new playmates.
You
It's
see,
only in
loneliness
your mind,
isn't just
Jimbo.
about being alone and struggling to find a partner or get a hot match. It's not the number of friends you have, and it's not whether or not you're in a committed
The more you
relationship.
keep saying
but it's
that,
the
the more you're gonna
quality
live
of
like
close
that.
relationships that matters. In life, you need someone to communicate with. You need someone to tie yourself
Human
with so your lives
interaction,
make up
hell
room.
yeah.
You need someone to communicate with when times are good and to share your triumphs. You need someone to share your catastrophes. You need a framework that's stable, and it's strenuous and hard. You will face heartbreaks. You will face anger, annoyance, sadness, despair, and moments of self-loathing. So then, what was all this for anyway?
To fill the time. That's what it was. It's a filler. Your life. You wake up and you 30, still on fucking Tinder. With a weak ass job.
From the start, this was never about Tinder. Escaping your virtual reality, meeting that girl,
Hi.
Hi.
traveling around the world, having a family. It was the real life experiences you were looking for. It was a feeling, a sensation, the ability to look back on your life without ever having to cast a thought towards, why didn't I live life to its fullest? Have I wasted my life? How did I become so lonely and depressed? Would I ever get to see my kids smile? The most important lesson from this video was never about Tinder. It was about the one thing you will never regret having, the most valuable thing in your life, relationships.
Yeah.
Has
Real
Tinder
ones.
ever helped your life? Is your life settled on swiping, texting, briefly meeting, waking up the next day and repeating the same cycle for years? How many experiences, how many chances to grow do you let step through because of this pattern? Or perhaps you're fine with that reality. And if that's the case, there's nothing to worry about. The most you got from this video was a little entertainment and maybe a change in perspective. But there are those of you that understand the other side.
Yep,
those
delete
of you
that
that
shit.
understand the price of cheap fixes, the value.
And then put yourself on like a restraint almost, man. Like go on y'all's phones and do the screen time thing. Go to y'all's screen time and set timers. I only can be on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok for the day for like 3 hours max, 5 hours max, you know, day by day, week by week, cut it down. That's how you set a goal and achieve it, bro. You know?
Of never needing to worry about what you didn't do. If you're going into your 20s or 30s, you only have one shot at this. Let finding a strong relationship be the meaningful struggle of your life. Does it mean you'll be happy at the end of this road? Only you can answer that question. But if your struggle is meaningful, then perhaps it's worth pursuing.
Yeah. This was a really good video. We have 2 lives. And the second begins when we realize we only have one. I love Confucius. Wow, what a great video.